Okay guys, so apparently I'm going to have to do this video in a part 1 and a part 2. I apologize for any confusion that might cause. I use my phone to record things and I got some spam phone call that totally messed up my recording and stopped my recording. So anyway, so keeping on with our fingerless glove here. So I'm on my last couple of crochets again here with the black yarn. So I'm going into my last crochet, my last back loop crochet, and I'm going to switch it to the orange. So this one, this is row 16, and I'm just going to pick up this orange and the black together. For some reason it takes me a second to get hold of it. Figure out how to get hold of it. And then wrap them both around. Get them both wrapped around, pull them both through, and now I'm going to drop the black behind, and I'm going to take my little loose bit of orange there, and I'm just going to work with my orange yarn. So I'm going to pull that through, and then I'm going to turn it. So that was my chain 1, and now I'm going to turn it, and I'm going to keep on with my single crochets in the back loop. Just super hard to see on the black yarn on the camera, I think. That yarn is so cool. I love how it looks with the black and the orange. I'm a total Halloween girl, but it definitely is not showing up. I had a feeling it wouldn't show up on the camera. So I'm going to finish this up. This will be the last little section for the body of the glove. So I'm going to continue single crocheting into the back loops all the way down until I reach 26 rows. So again, this is, this is your project. It's for your hands, or maybe your kids' hands, or, your partner or whoever. So one way to see if you need, how many rows you need, rather, is as you start working this, just kind of put your hands down on it. And especially the further you get, when you get closer toward this side, see if it's going to be comfortable when it meets up. So you can add a couple extra rows or leave off a couple of rows. So I am going to finish these, and then when I come back, I'm going to show you how to close it up and how to finish it. So hopefully I don't get another spam call in the meantime. Okay, so here I am at the end of my last row. So again, I crocheted a total of 26 rows, which works for my hand. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pull this last one all the way through, because I'm finishing it there. I'll cut my yarn and just pull that all the way through right there. Okay, so again, you can make this any length that you want and any size that you need it. And I just kind of figured this out by seeing about how far around it wraps, just like that. So as long as it kind of touches right there, because we are going to finish it. And I'm a goober. I did not mean to cut that, and I realized it as soon as I did it. I am going to put just a little knot right here because we're going to close it up and finish it that way. I think my camera getting messed up kind of threw me off a little. So I'm just going to put a nice tight little knot right there and trim it down. Not my camera getting messed up, but getting that call and getting my video a little bit messed up. So we're going to keep the yarn on here, pretend I didn't do that, and we're going to fold this in half lengthwise. So both sides on this one look the same because it's just that back and forth back loop crochet. So it doesn't matter which direction you fold it in. I'm just going to fold it in half. And I'm going to pick my yarn back up again. So now the idea here to close it is to match up your loops, just to make sure that you are getting loops across from each other to match up. So what that means is, and you want to go through the whole loop, you just want it to kind of match through the other side, the space on the other side. Okay, just like that. So we're going to go all the way down the row that way. So I'm going to pick up my yarn. Let me show you that again since my finger was blocking. I'm going to pick up my yarn. I'm going to pull it through that first one and the first one on the other side, all the way through. And I'm going to pull it through, but then I'm going to keep pulling it through, just like that. Okay? And I'm going to do that on all of these. Whoops. So now, we don't need to pick it up again. We're just going to pull it through here. And in a matching space on the other side, yarn over, pull it through, and keep pulling it through. So that's 2. Same thing. Through the space, through a space on the opposite side, yarn over, pull it through, and keep pulling it through. So that's 3. And we're going to do that for, let's see, for 26 stitches. So that's 3, so pull it through, 4, 5. This, I don't know if you can see that it's happening, but this crochet hook, the little rubber part, is slipping off when I do this part of it. 5. So I'm going to do that for 26 stitches, and I will be back. Okay, so you can see where doing that you create this nice seam right here, and I've stopped here at 26. Again, if you're not sure where you want to stop, slip your glove on, your almost finished glove, and see about where you want your fingers to be. Okay, and about how much space you want for your thumb there. So what I've discovered is that what works best for me for comfort is to have a space of 6 stitches right here for my thumb. So what I'm going to do is, instead of now going all the way through, you're going to just loop through the next one on one side. So right here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. You could do 5, you could do more. Again, make it personalized. You know, make it to where it feels comfortable for you. And now I'm going to make sure that I'm lined up again with my spaces here. And I'm going to pull back through, and I'm going to finish it. So all the way through, pull that and pull it through that space, all the way to the end. And through the last one. It's so funny. This is a really comfortable little handle. And it makes it cozy, but when I do this one particular type of stitch, it wants to slip away from me. Okay, so I've got my last stitch there, and I personally like to just kind of go into that last little space, pull this through, and then keep pulling it through. So this time we really are going to cut this and pull it all the way through. And tighten this up, and I am just going to tie a little knot right here just to tie those two together, kind of get that little gap out of the way, just like that. So now let's start finishing this off, because we have our little space here, and what I'm going to do is start tucking some of these in before I turn it inside out. So this one, I'm actually going to just cut them the same length and tuck them in together. Grab my needle, and just the same way you would finish any crochet project, you want to hide those threads And because this is the same color, I can hide them in the same place. If I can get all that yarn through there. Yep. Okay, and then just kind of weave it in. I'm just gonna, let's see, where do I want to weave it in? Right through here. If I can get all that pulled through, yep. Maybe one more. I like to make super sure that it's not going anywhere. Okay, there we go. And then just pull it up and cut it really close. Pulled a little bit of yarn there. That should be okay though. And then the same thing here where we changed our yarn color. I'm going to tighten this up a little bit. Now these I don't want to do together. I want to keep them the separate colors because I'm going to weave the black into the black and the orange into the orange. And then it disappears really nicely. And I just like that better than creating, like tying, like separating the colors with knots. Because sometimes the knots, it makes me a little nervous. I'm not sure if they're going to come loose. And when then you have to cut more pieces down. And yeah, so I kind of like this method of it. It tucks it away and hides it nicely. I've seen lots of different ways to create or to get colors switched or yarn combined if you run out of yarn, even on the same color. So it's really interesting. You know, so many people have so many different methods and different ways that they learn to do things too, which is pretty cool. Okay, and then this is the other spot where we finished. Just give it a little tug, where we switched yarn rather. And again, you can take this and, you know, create lots of stripes, do lots of little things. That's the fun thing when you have your own items that you make yourself. You can do lots of, you can make them personal, do what you want with them. It's just about learning some of the techniques. Oh, come on, don't be stubborn. Let's see. Pull you this way. Okay. So now one other thing that I did with this glove. So now I'm going to turn it inside out just so that that seam we created is hidden. I'll put it on. So I could just leave it like this. You could leave it like this if you wanted to. One other thing I did on my other glove, you'll see right here, I created a little bit of a trim right there. Super, super easy. So I'm going to take my black yarn for this one. You should still be able to see it. And I'm going to create myself a little slip knot. And loosen it up just a bit. So I have my little knot there. And I'm going to start right here where my thumb opening is, just because that's an easy place for me to see where I'm at. So I'm just going to go right through here through some of the spaces, and I'm going to put my knot back on here. And I'm going to pull it through so that I have a starting place right here. Okay. All I did was single crochet. So I have this right here, and I just single crochet into the spaces. Hold on to that and pull it through, just like that. And I just single crocheted all the way around into each of the spaces. Okay. You see the spaces, and just went all the way around with it, and you can see where that starts creating that border. So I'm going to get all the way around with it, and then I'm going to do another row of single crochet. And I like the idea of doing this just because it adds a little extra color. And you'll feel when you get to like this spot where we changed colors, it feels a little thicker. You have that little knot right there, but it's not something that you feel when you're wearing it. So don't let that concern you once you get there. But anyway, I like the idea of having just that little extra hint of color, that extra little stripe. And then after I did this, I love Halloween. It's my favorite holiday. After I did this, I don't know why, but for some reason I thought it would just be, my next idea was to do gloves like this in the Harry Potter house colors. I don't know why. It's because I love Harry Potter. And they have the duo colors. You see them in the scarves all the time that people are selling and stuff. So yeah. Yep. So that is all I did. And then I'm back here to my beginning. And then right here where I started, I'm putting that single crochet into here. And now, before I start my next row, I'm going to do a slip knot. Let me hold this so that hopefully you'll be able to see it even with that black yarn. So into that first crochet right there, I'm going to put my hook through that first crochet, that stitch, pull it through, and again, pull it through. Okay? And chain one, and then just simply go back into all of those single crochets. Sorry, that got really close. I'm trying to do this while I'm looking in the camera, and it's making me lose focus as well. Okay, there we go. And then you just single crochet into all of your single crochets that you just made, all the way back around. Okay, so I've done my all the way around, and then again I'm going to go back into my first single crochet there and pull it all the way through, and then trim it, pull it all the way through again, and then I'm going to work my yarn in just like I did with everything else. So there it is. So then I have my two gloves in opposite colors, but I think it'll work because I also made a scarf in these colors. So I think once everything is together, it'll just be kind of a neat contrast, nice little color blocking kind of thing. So sorry again that it's in a part 1 and a part 2, but I hope you guys learned some new things today from these. And